was just going down the wrong path. I was out drinking every weekend, just doing the same thing. I was working all week, and then Friday, Saturday, spend all my wages. Sunday, I'd be skint. I was thinking, something's got to change me. I want to do something with my life. Coming out to the ring walkout, and he was standing to go out like that, and I was like, you were having it now.
Some man they wanna chat shit till I knock 'em out like I'm Jack Short.
To the game.
Rolls high, rolls back, my flow shot.
Hey, boom, we're live, we're going. What's happening, boys? How we doing?
All good. Just finished training now, so.
Anyone who don't know, we got Gav Gwynne and his trusty sidekick, Jordan. I've tagged along.
Robin,
but,
It's my other son, this is.
Just finished training. So, out of camp now, fought a couple of weeks ago. What's life feel like now? Are you training and you up again a fight? You just taking over?
Yeah, just taking over. I got to be in the gym mainly for my mental side of it, because if I'm not in the gym, I'm just sitting in the house, not doing nothing, like a slob, putting loads of weight on. So I just like to stay in the gym. I've learned to live like the proper professional lifestyle, like training every day. Obviously, I have the weekend off when I'm not in camp. I'll have my cheat meals on the weekend as well. But now I'm back eating healthy, hopefully working on a date, yeah.
Good man. So we just, for the viewers that don't know, we'll take it back right to the very beginning. So what was your, obviously you're pretty much at the top of the game now, but what was your first taste of boxing? How did you initially get into it? Was it something you always wanted to do as a kid, or was it just kind of like you plucked it out of nowhere and was like, no, I'm half-handy at this, let's stick at it?
So it was like, I was one of them kids, I'd done everything. Like I'd done football, rugby, boxing, karate, fishing, golf. I'd done everything. Like, so my mother and father was always on the go with me. But like one of my best friends, his grandfather was used to run Lewis ABC, so we'd always go up training, maybe a Monday and a Wednesday, do some sparring and that. We wouldn't really take it serious, but we'd always like go training. And I used to just love it. Like I'd go on my own sometimes. I'd done that for say 2 or 3 years, and then say 13, 14, 15, you know, it's like out on drinking on the streets and girls and everything else, and I went down the bad route, like sort of thing. I went on that way. I wouldn't change your mind, and then I come back to boxing then when I was 17, 18, and I thought, I just want a couple of fights now. Started sparring with Luke Osman, who was a professional at the time. Sparring with him, and then they got me fights in, and I loved it ever since. Yeah. Did
you have any fights before 17, 18, or did you just train and then obviously when you come back you started
so I was just sparring and just training, so I didn't have no fights. I was straight in senior fights. So
it's quite late then, really.
Yeah.
Considering you're only 33 now, like you said, you've had fuck knows how many pro and amateur altogether, but to not start, like, to not have your first amateur till you was like 17, 18, that's quite late, isn't it? Because a lot of boys are at it like 5, 6 years
I know
old.
that's why I think I can box a lot longer than the other guys, because I am done it since I was 10, 11, making weight, having all these amateur fights. I had nigh on 50 amateur fights, but they were all like internationals and high level amateur fights. So I think my career will be a lot longer than most professionals, yeah.
What made you go back at 17? Like, how come you decided you had to go down that path?
I was just going down the wrong path. I was out drinking every weekend, just doing the same thing. I was working all week, and then Friday, Saturday, I'd spend all my wages. Sunday, I'd be skint. I was thinking, something's got to change me. I want to do something with my life. I don't want to be one of these guys who's down the pub. Could have done this, could have done that. So
it's a young age to realise it, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
a lot of
it was.
Get, like,
and
25.
like, I have grown up like at a young age. I was living on my own when I was 19. Me and my sister moved out, and I moved into one of my buddy's house when I was 20. So I grew up pretty young. So I just wanted to do something in my life. I didn't want to be like a nobody sort of thing. I wanted to leave like a legacy behind. Like,
yeah, we've said it hundreds of times on this podcast, because we obviously had a lot of Welsh boys in, and I think this, not just this area, but Wales in general, it's a bit of a dream killer area, because there ain't a lot to do, especially like where you from, you and Murphy boy, where I'm from Appley, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
If you don't play rugby or fight, you're probably working all through the week to sort of fund your lifestyle, go out on a piss and do whatever on the weekend. And I think it's a lot tougher to kind of make it from an area like this, because you haven't got the city back in. you know, how many more opportunities there up in somewhere like London or Essex compared to what we have, even Cardiff.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless you're like really good at rugby or really good at football or fighting, and then you get up on like the GB squad and things like that, you haven't really got a good start in boxing. Do you know what I mean? But it just goes to show I've come from them small shows, and now I'm signed up to Matchroom for a couple of fights. So anybody can do it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Done it the hard way as well.
Done it the hard way.
There's no one, like, you know, you see it a lot in boxing. There is a lot of in UFC they call it Dana White privilege, whereas it's kind of like if you're one of Dana White's favourites, you get a little bit of privilege along. And you see it a lot in boxing with the top, and they have their favourites, don't they? But like you said, you know, you've come sort of from like fighting on the small. I remember watching you on Instagram and stuff, fighting on the small shows in front of no crowd, and now, like you said, just signed a multi-fight with Matchroom, British champion, Commonwealth champion. Go back to the amateur days.
Yeah.
What was your accolades at amateur?
So I won a novice title. I actually beat Nathan Howells, who's now my gym mate. I beat him for the Welsh novice title, and then I won the open class then, and then I went and boxed for Wales 4 years, I think it was, 4 years altogether, and then I was going to go to the Commonwealth Games. They wanted me to stay on the programme for the Commonwealth Games, but the money they offered is just, I just couldn't do it. I had a mortgage, and at the time I had a young family, I had a baby on the way, so I was like, right, I'm going to bite the bullet, I'm going to turn pro. So I went down with Tony Bogue, first spar with Gary Buckland. It was just a total war. Like, it was mad. It was a wake-up call, really, because I'd done 4 rounds, and I thought, yes, I'd done it right there. Tony went, oh, you got another two to do. He just beat me up for the rest.
Play the long games,
yeah, he just beat me up for the rest. Like, so, but it's brilliant gym. Like, couldn't ask for a better coach.
That's what I was going to ask. What was the inspiration to turn pro? Was it like, let's bite the bullet and see if we can make a career of it, make a bit of money, or was it kind of like, I don't want to?
Yeah, but because I went to the British Championships, and then we went and had GB trials and things like that, and I go up to the last trial, and I was thinking, even if they did pick me, they're not going to pick me for any qualifying events or anything like that, because obviously they're the same, they have their favourites, and obviously because they've done it for years, they've been in the game for like 10 years, where I've only 3 years, and I'm up having trials, like, so they're not going to pick me, sort of thing. They're just going to use me as a sparring partner, so I didn't want to be used in that way, so that's why I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go into the programme. I want to win titles, I want to earn some money, and just put my name and leg in history. Like.
How old were you when you went pro?
25.
Yeah,
no, 26 I was, 26.
That considered quite late, probably, isn't it?
Yeah, it is late. Yeah, it is late. And then, but I was lucky, I already had that sort of style. I was like a come forward fighter, throw my hands, don't care what I get it with, sort of thing.
That's what I was going to say. You probably then, based on it, didn't see a lot of difference between amateur and pro because of the way you fight.
Yeah, like the first round I always lose, but they'd try and have a go with me, but I knew second and third round they'd be knackered and I'd just be all over them, and that's how I used to win the fights. Like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't through skill and things like. Obviously, sometimes I'd use a bit of skill, like if they could punch a bit, but. Other than that, I was just walk them down and wear them out, like, sort of thing.
That's not something you can teach, I don't think, really, is it? I think you're
born with it.
You're either born with that and you've got that bit of dog in you, or you haven't. I think you see so many good boys, boxing, UFC, who are shit hot with the skills, but then the going gets tough a little bit and you start to see them crumble. It feels like, I'd like to know your opinion on this as well, because in MMA you see it a little bit earlier, because there is no real, like, in boxing you may fight 5-10 gimme fights before you have your first real test, whereas like MMA you'd be lucky if you have one and then you're straight in, and you see those boys, they get weeded out early on, but I suppose it looks to me in boxing you don't see a lot of guys get kind of weeded out until they're 10-15 fights deep.
It's because it's a business. Like, if them boys are doing good on tickets, the promoter is like, well, I'll keep him for a few more years now, he's doing good on tickets, he's earning me money, he's earning himself money, try and like build him up, sort of thing, to a good name. But then once they come up against someone decent, then they either got stopped or found out. Like, but I think it was my 5th fight I fought for the Welsh title. Henry James, who was a decent fighter. He'd always be on the road though, so he'd always be in close fights, but he'd never get a nod. So it was in Merthyr Tydfil Leisure Centre. It was sold out. It was a packed arena. I can remember to this day. I walked out. Everyone was shouting, and the game plan was to box and move and everything like that. But the first round, I was just like, "Come on, in, let's have it." And we just stood in and had 10 rounds of just hitting lumps out each other. Like so, I didn't have many of them learning fights really.
No, you knew pretty early on that you had that in you then.
Yeah,
if
definitely.
If they're not going to break you then, so they're going to have to kind of either completely outskill or put you to sleep. No one's ever going to make you quit.
No, I got a quite good chin as well, but the only one guy who ever stopped me is James Tennyson, but do you know, honest to God, right, he was hitting me. I thought he was hitting me with a sledgehammer. I can remember, right, this was in Eddie's backyard in COVID, if you remember. And,
what was it called? Fight camp or something like that?
Fight camp. And so I can remember going back after the first round. I thought, I'd done pretty decent there. He hit me with one good right hand. I went back. I said, he'd hit me with one good right hand then. Tony went, "You've only hit me with jabs, Gav." I was like, all right.
Great.
Yeah, great. Like, but I thought I was winning that fight as well, just outboxing him, because I knew I had to box this guy. So I thought I'd just keep him long, just keep on moving. But he was just like one of them punchers. He could hit you with anything, and he hit me on top of the head. It was like on the temple, and like it just went all black. My eyes went black. I was like, shit. That's the first time that's ever happened. So I was like, I got to take a knee. So I took a knee, and I can remember I could see it was like all blurry. The referee were walking over to me, and then as I got up, it was like sort of cleared, and he was just on me. But other than that, I think I got a good chin as well.
I'd say so from watching him.
Does that change your mindset, like when you have that, when you go black then and you're thinking, what am I going to do?
Honestly, I couldn't remember anything after that. I was like, and then that's all I could remember. I was walking back to the changing rooms. And I was just like, every time I lost, like, because I've always put everything into training, everything to what I do, I was just broke down. I was like, I can't keep doing this. Do you know what I mean? I can't, like, I lost to Joe Cordina, that broke me. That was the first loss. And then I lost to James Tennyson. I thought, I can't do this. And then I had a couple of days in, and I was like, right, sort yourself out, back training. I got to win the British title.
Do you think like MMA and boxing are so different, aren't they? You can have a loss in MMA and people still want to see you, people still buy your tickets, and do you think like they need to change that in boxing a little bit?
100%, because it's only like Mayweather now really went undefeated, didn't they? So like some boxers, they get a loss and they think, it's the end of their career. It's not that. Do you know what I mean? Look at me, I've had 2 losses and I come back and I had a couple of great wins. And obviously signed to Matchroom and that now. It don't mean anything. If you lose into decent boys, it don't mean. If you lose into journeymen, I'd say pack it in. Like, but if you lose into like decent boys and you're giving them a good go, right. I've learned more off them losses than I did off any of my wins. Like, so I think like you see a lot of like MMA, UFC fighters have a lot of losses, but you'd still want to watch them fight because they're always in decent fights. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say to you about like how many fighters would have packed it in it. Like you said, 2 attempts at a British title.
Yeah.
Lost them both. How many fighters kind of would have packed it in and just been like, oh well, it's done. But like you said, I think a lot of that comes down to then again like the dog in you is like, well, be fucked. I've set out to do it, so I'm going to do it. Don't care if it takes me 10 times. Yeah. And I remember. This was years ago, and it was after the Tennyson fight. And I remember, I think it was either in like a YouTube interview. I read like an article you've done. You shared it on your Instagram, and you said something similar. It was like, you know, I'll 100% win a British title before I call it a day. Obviously, now you've won and defended a British title. It's kind of like at that point you was probably down. You think, I just want to win the British. Yeah. Now you've won it. You're kind of like, well, what can I do next now?
Yeah, like the manager rang me the other day. I'm number 3 in Europe now, so it looks like I'll be fighting for the European title next. So, like, win that, like, it could be a world title after that. So
why not?
As long as I just keep on winning, that's all I gotta do. 3 little well, a word, it's 3 little letters, like win, that's all I got to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It
100%.
sounds easy, I know, but that's all I got to do, innit? And obviously, I'm securing my family's life for the rest of their lives, like, do you know what I mean? So
is that a big driver, like? Having
yeah,
kids
and having a young family, like, that spurred me on even more, like, obviously coming off them losses just made me want to win that British title more and earn more money and to secure their lives, like, do you know what I mean?
You was training and you was fighting and working at one for a long
time.
When was it that what fight was it, or before that you made the decision, right, I'm gonna just fucking push all the chips in, yeah, and I'm gonna go for it.
It was after the Tennyson fight.
I was gonna say I was pretty. I was sure it was after. And how many fights has it been since that Tennyson fight?
It's gotta be 5 years. It's 9 or 5, isn't it?
Because you're bound to feel it different. You can see it in not just in like your performances, but I can imagine you feel so much more ready to go.
Yeah, that was
one
one of the like main reasons. So after the Tennyson fight, I was like to my missus, I might just call it a day. And I was earning good money working. I was in shares with my old man and my uncle. So I didn't really need the box, but I wanted a box.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference as well. If you're being pushed into it, you don't really want to do it. So I wanted a box. I wanted a fight and that. And we just had a sit down and just had a chat, and we spoke about different things and what we could do to change things. And I was like, look, I just got to be full time. I said, I know I'm at that level, but I'm getting beat by boys because they are full time and I'm not. And I'm not giving 100% to training, whereas now I'm getting up in the morning, I'm landing my breakfast, I make my breakfast, I take my boy to school, I come home, I go training, I'll have a rest. That's like the most important, resting. People don't realise you need that rest, because we give 100%, don't we, in training? Like we push our body to the limits all the time, so we need the rest, and then I can train again in the night. Like, whereas before I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'd do a run, get home, I'd go work till like 3-4 o'clock, I'd get home from there, have a shower, go straight to Newport, I wouldn't get home till 8 o'clock. I'm just drained. Like Monday to Friday just drained me, and then Saturday I'd have to do a run, and then Sunday day off, and then last Sunday I'd just be on the settee all day just dying. Like.
And before you know it's Monday morning.
And then it's Monday, and then it all starts again, and then I knew after doing that for a couple of weeks, being full time for a few weeks, I just felt like a different fighter. I did, like.
Yeah, you can definitely see it in your performances. As you come from quite a big gym, you got like down at Tony, you got a big state. Jordan can speak to it a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Like obviously, the most famous guy from the gym, probably Lee Selby.
Yeah.
Unbelievable talent. Still in the gym now, and he's
still trained. Jordan actually trained with him the other day. Yeah.
How important is it to, like, because you see so many boxers, don't you? And I think, especially the boys at the top, they kind of. It's them and their trainers, and that's it. And they'll bring boys into... But you don't see many... Like in MMA, there's a lot of big teams. You got like super gyms. Like my gym then, we've got probably 7 or 8 pros and probably 15, 20
huge gym, innit? Yeah.
And I think your gym and Gary's is probably one of the only two that and the Matchroom gym. There's got like a stable of fighters.
Yeah.
How much easier does it make going training, knowing that there's a gang of hungry boys around you who... You might turn up and have a day where you're a little bit fucking tired. Whereas if you had to go and do it on your own, you probably have to drag yourself through the session. But you turn up and you've got like the youngsters and the boys, like, they're all there rearing to go. How much does that spur you on as well?
It's brilliant, like, because we all have a bit of banter, don't we? I know it's like, we always have a laugh in the gym, but it's always hard work when we get the hard work done, and we always have a bit of banter.
For us, just when you come in, really.
Like, because I'm older than all of them. Like most of them, like they got all the skills in the world, but they just don't want to train.
Yeah,
I'm a workhorse. I'll just keep going and going. Like, so I got to push them on, and it's just been like that father figure to all of them. But when I'm training for a fight or anything like that, and you got all the boys in the gym, we got all the sparring partners we need in the gym.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. So we sparring all the time. Obviously not head sparring all the time, but body sparring. Like today, we done half our body sparring, me and Jordan.
Yeah,
if they lumps each other into each other.
Like you said, there's never that lack of like, I might not get a good spar this week because I haven't gone up in a ring. Just kind of like, and rock up and spar with Jordan, spar with like you got Lloyd Jermaine's Welsh champion, Rashid, Welsh champion. How do you find it? Like, because obviously, how old are you, Jode?
22.
So you're 22, Gav's 33. How do you find it being so young, quite early on in your career as well, and you were surrounded by all these boys who were Welsh champion, British champion, you got working with Selby, who's
jealous.
Yeah, jealous.
He is. He's a jealous guy.
Honestly, they all got belts now. They went down Welsh Boxing Awards. I said I ain't going. I said
at least he's honest.
I said I ain't watching other people get awards. I gotta sit there and just eat food like. But it's good though. Like it spurs you on to have what they got like, and I think that's what you're really in the gym for. Like,
shows you what's possible, I suppose. Doesn't it? Around it, like.
Yeah.
I want to go back. You said obviously, like you said, you was going on a bit of a wrong path at 17, 16. What kind of clicked in your mind to steer away from that? Was you a fan of boxing, watching boys coming up through and thinking, why can't I go? I want to go and do that. I want to go and do rather than go down there, because it's like we said at the beginning. How many boys do you hear in a pub? I could have been a fucking good scrapper back in the day.
It is too many, and obviously by us in the valleys, and it's always full of fighters, isn't it? So it's always the same. Like, but I can remember watching Lee Selby. That was one of the ones for me. And I was like, I want to do something like that. So, and then I end up in the gym with him and really good friends with Lee. Like, so
it's mental.
It's a good thing, really. Yeah. But
how do you make the decision to go to that gym then, compared to anywhere else?
I'd been down there as an amateur sparring. I'd sparred, what was his name? Dai Jones, Welsh welterweight champion, I think he was. I asked me down there for sparring. This was years before I turned with Tony. And I just, because I knew Tony, so I dropped them a message. I said, do you mind if I come down and do a couple of training sessions and things like that? So we went on the pads, done some sparring. And it was just like a good crack down there as well. It wasn't just all business sort of thing, and that's what I liked. It wasn't, he's a taskmaster, but other than that, he sound like, after we'd done the work, he's like one of the boys.
You got that relationship as well, I think, because it makes it enjoyable to go to the gym, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't, my old man's very similar. You don't want a coach who's just going to be crack on lads and do what you want. You want someone who's going to be on your ass, but at the same time, there's no one worse than my old man for giving the boy shit. And he's always taking the piss out of someone, and no one's safe. One of my favourite fights of yours was I think it was against, you'll tell me his name, I'm sure the Irish kid when he won the Commonwealth. I think it was at
Sean McComb, Sean McComb. That was in lockdown as well.
That was in lockdown. Was that in the York Hall?
No, that was in that football stadium. What was it called? What's the Bolton?
The Reebok Arena. We talked about, but talk us through it, because it was fucking wicked to watch, because he was a slick kid, wasn't he? And he was punching and moving. I just remember watching, and I was known Gav a bit. I was thinking, there's no way I was thinking it's about round 4, and I thought, there's no fucking way this kid got 12 rounds of doing this. I was like, he's gonna.
He said, you seen an interview he done a few weeks before. He said, if it gets tough in it, he said, I'll get out. He said, I got a family now to go. Yeah,
he said, I can remember you sent it over to me actually, and that was the first fight after me being full time. Yeah, and do you know what? I give it everything in training camp and things like that. I just went to another level. I even said in the build-up in an interview, I said he won't go past 7 rounds with me. I said the way I'm feeling, in sparring, I was just doing everyone in sparring. I was just feeling class, and I thought, I went up there, my weight was perfect. Had a cup of tea night before the weigh-in.
That's the fucking
not for anyone, any combat fighter winning. That's like a dream, innit? I had a cup of tea and I had a sip of water in the morning. I was like, not many people do that.
I remember watching it. It was round 4 or 5. Right, fucking Sky Bet. He's I was like, Gav got him. Here we go. But that was a bit of a coming out performance for you. I think, wasn't it?
It was.
Because I think there was a lot of I don't think not many people probably give you a shot in that fight.
No, they didn't. I went up there for him to do a number on me.
Make him look good.
Good and things like that, because they thought he was going to probably outbox me for 12 rounds. But we had a game plan. We knew he cut up easy. I hurt him with a body shot in the first round, first or second round. And then as soon as I can remember, the round went, I was like, I'd done a muscle pause. I was like,
how big a weapon is it though, do you think, your cardio? Because it's almost like having an extra hand in boxing, I think.
It's
Because like you can be as good a boxer if you want, but if you can't stop someone just continuously cutting you off, walking you down and working you, because like you're shaped like you should fucking dance around people and stick them on the end of your arm, but then you watch you fight and you're like fucking head down, just bashing them up on the insides.
Yeah.
And I think because probably you're so tall and big at the weight as well, you can probably lean on them a bit tighter. Do you feel like that's one of your biggest weapons?
Yeah, it gotta be like I could do 12 rounds today a fight and I wouldn't be blowing like I don't know what it must be like a built-in like, it's like a built-in like cardio thing with me. It's just I don't get tired.
Like a third lung.
Yeah, like in that last fight, I didn't even get out the first gear.
No.
Like I didn't. Tony said to me, he said, we'll do 6 rounds, keep on him a bit now. Don't go loading anything up. He said, don't go getting caught with anything stupid. Just nice and tidy. Just keep on working him, get him tired. And then 7, 8, we start putting power in the shots and then we'll go for the stoppage. But after the 3rd round, Tony said, he's gone there. He's gone.
Let's go on that, because I call it a rivalry. We had the 2 fights with Woodruff, and like you could see in the first fight, I think that I remember watching it, and I was surprised at how well he was doing. But like you could kind of see something was off. He was still pushing forward and working, but you could just see that. For whatever reason, you wasn't slowing him down as much as you usually slow the other guy. So like you said before we start recording, you broke your hand 2 weeks before.
Yeah, 2 weeks before. It's something to do with a metacarpal. I don't know the medical term. But I had a cortisone injection in there. It's just that fighter's mentality. You were saying you were injured and things like that, and you just go into fights. It is what it is, isn't it? It's just that fighter's mentality. So
I ain't gonna get paid at the end of the day.
Yeah,
if
that's
you don't
it.
fight, you don't get paid.
And that's it. So it's like I could not go into the fight. So I thought, right, I'll have this cortisone injection. Went into the fight. And I can remember warming up upstairs and I was hitting the pads. I was thinking, this ain't going to hold out. I was like, and I wasn't even putting power into the shot and I thought, this ain't going to hold out. And I think it was the 2nd or 3rd round. I caught him with a good shot. His head went back flying. I thought, I got him there. This happy days, like. And I hit him with another shot and he just stayed there and my hand was gone. I thought, this is going to be a long night. And when you got one hand, you can't like in a rhythm. So I was just like left-handed all the time. I can remember throwing like 9 hooks one time. I was like, I never do that. I never do that.
I'm gonna put you on the spot a bit for a bit of clickbait. But what was the crack in the cage after the ring? There was fucking
in the cage.
In the ring. In the ring.
Default.
It was default. It was like pushing and shoving and all that. And
right.
So was it like bad blood in the build-up or anything?
Nah, not even that. It was just his manager.
An African.
Matt Nolan, wannabe nutritionist, but he's probably the worst nutritionist in the world. So he was like, we've been robbed, kicked off and all that. So Tony was like, come on, Tony went back down to no one. So he wanted some of it, and they were like, we've been robbed. It was a close fight.
Yeah, it was a close fight.
And me being champion, they're not going to give a close decision to. It is what it is. Yeah. That's what it's like in combat sport, isn't it? That you got to really take away the belt. So it was just all from that really. And then they were in the last press conference. I can remember the man in the bottle. He had no excuses on it. I thought, you were knackered, but I got 2 hands.
So that's what I was going to say. I would like obviously then going into the second fight, which was on the Cordina and the card.
Yeah.
I would like, because I seen a couple of it, and it did seem like not from your part so much, but there was a bit of like they felt like they were done by going in. Yeah. Did you go in there thinking like, not only we've got a point to prove, but was you kind of like thinking he's not going to want to know what's hitting him because you because fighters do it, and they have a close fight. They say, "I was injured." This happened and that. And sometimes you think, and we were all guilty, and we were all like, "Oh, fuck off, you're full of shit." Yeah. But being knowing deep down you genuinely did have one hand. How confident was you? And how kind of like much did you ever be in your bonnet to go in and think like, "Well, no, I'm going to show you the."
And that's what it was like in training. Like I'd probably had the best training camp. And I was up with sparring Eubank. I was up Matchroom Gym sparring. I put everything in it. It cost me loads of money. The training camp.
Best sparring I've ever seen. I saw you.
It was.
You would sparred Eubank.
Yeah, really.
Threw about 20 uppercuts.
Which Eubank? Eubank Junior.
No,
Callum,
really good sparring. Really good sparring with him because he's a good mover. He's good with his head movement and things like that. So we used him for sparring. Really good mover, and obviously he's a weight class above me, so he's stronger than me, so he could push me back. But I had really good sparring with him. And then like a couple of weeks before, I was just like, and they were doing all these interviews and like saying that I was making excuses in the last fight, and he just got me riled up, and I was just like, do you know what, I'm going to do a number on this guy. And then in the like press conferences, I was like, I'm going to do a demolition job on this guy. He's not going to know what's hit him. So I was so confident, like, and I can remember coming out to the ring walkout, and he was standing to go out like that, and I was like, you were having it now. I was just like, I just wanted to go there, like, so I can remember, and then we done the ring walk, my music come on, I was just like, I was in the zone, I was just like, I'm getting to the ring. I was just like gone. I was in there. I didn't care about anything. Like I just wanted to go in there and do the number on him. Like
hell of a performance as well. Like you said, you expected to take a little bit longer.
Yeah, I did. I thought it would take a little bit longer, but I think he thought he could stay with him inside him
from the first round.
Yeah, like
it was as if it looked as if. Like, so I was in the crowd and they and I was
you bought tickets on me.
Yeah, fucking right. You can have the commission on that one. Like. but I thought, because of the first fight, I like, because my old man and all that come in, he was like, oh, and then obviously he doesn't follow boxing quite as much as I do.
No,
he's like, fucking, what's the crack here then? I was like, Gav's going to try and walk him down and keep on the inside, and I said, I expect that boy to kind of create to stay on the outside.
Yeah.
But he said the same thing. He was like, fucking hell. He was like, he's fucking mixing it. He's like, he's sitting in the pocket. I said, like, you could see it because it was getting slower and slower and slower.
So I can remember the press conference fight week. I thought, I'm going to have him here. And I said to Tony, I'll say, he can't stand in the pocket and trade with me. I'll say in the press conference. So I said it, and he bit. He was like, I'll stand in the pocket and trade with anyone. And I thought, that's him done there. Yeah. That's him done. Like, all his game plan went out the window. But from the last fight, he probably thought he could stay in the pocket with me.
Yeah.
And he probably thought he was strong enough. But I was just too strong.
How much does that play into it? Like, that mental side of it, of him, like, you riling him up or whatever. Do you think that plays a lot into the boxing?
Half the battle.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Like, it's like... Yeah, it is half a battle. It's got to be. It's mentally as well, isn't it?
That's like how McGregor.
I was just going to say, look at Conor McGregor. How many?
He's one of the best at it.
He'd beat 80% of the boys he'd fight before he'd even get. Well, look at Aldo.
He was gone. He was gone.
On paper, that should have been the close.
No, if they said to Aldo, "Oh, don't worry, you don't have to," he'd have gone out. He'd have gone.
Yeah,
he'd have gone home.
Yeah, that's why McGregor struggled so much with Diaz the first time.
Because
he didn't give a fuck for him. Like you said with Aldo, he had wound Aldo up that much over the space of a year. He was just like, I'm gonna fucking kill him. Would you say it was best night of your career with a crowd, like with all the crowd?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Because it was a hell of an atmosphere in there.
It's got to be like other than winning the British title.
Yeah. Who did you beat for the British?
Luke Willis, the undefeated fighter from Liverpool, who was managed by Tony Bellew as well. I think they thought they were going to do a number on me as well, but obviously I'd been in the ring with loads of different undefeated fighters and that, so I was more thing to the pro game than he was, sort of thing. He hadn't been really stepped up against anyone decent, and I just outpointed him, outworked him.
How good did it feel to have that bit of an homecoming? Because you've been a bit of a road dog, really. All your big fights, apart from obviously like the Cordina fight, but you know, like Joe at the time was a bit like the poster boy for what it still is, I suppose.
Yeah, still is,
but how good did it feel? Like you've had all these big title fights, but they've all kind of been like away from home. So then to have that where it's packed out in there, I think he was like, they should have put you co-main, to be honest.
Yeah, but they didn't want to because obviously Sandy Ryan was fighting for a world title. Yeah, so
and I get it, but But just being in there,
me and Joe probably sold the most of the tickets. Being in there
was fucking electric for your fight.
It was mental,
and then it died a death a little bit for the co-main, and then obviously it was electric for Joe's fight. Like we were saying in the car how nuts an atmosphere would have been for Joe's fight if they just rolled straight into that off the back of your fight. I bet it was Alva feeling feel.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, I can remember going up on the one rope. I was like shaking the ropes. I was buzzing. I was like on cloud 9. And I going on the other ropes and I went ass over tit. My leg, my leg went through the rope. So I like managed to get myself up and I was beating my chest. And it was like just rammed and everyone was on their feet and that. Because obviously when me and Joe had the fight, all Joe's fans are supporting me sort of thing now.
He was, yeah.
So it was like, it was class. And then all my fans stayed for, obviously, Joe's fight as well. It was, what a night. But hopefully we can get a big show in Cardiff in the next couple of months.
Nice one at the City Stadium or something like that.
Well, that's we working on something now and it's going to be like, I can't say, but it's going to be like,
We'll get out of him now.
It's going to be.
I would say.
say it and we'll beep it out.
You only got to get give Jordan a fiver. You say.
Have we got questions for him?
Yeah, I think we got.
I got a quick question before we have these off some of our members. Give us a memorable, funny, where we want gym story. Whether it be in your gym, traveling somewhere, something that people probably wouldn't have heard before.
Probably that one we were talking about on the way up there when we going to the LA. we were in LA, right? So I'd been there before on training camps. We were going to the Wildcard gym for sparring, and I'm sitting in the front. I'm shitting them. I hate it, but so I'm on. It's like I'm going to a fight because that's what it's like going to a different gym. Right? Going to fight. So I'm here all shaking, fucking sweating, and that. Right? Jordan's like, what's the matter, man? I was like, Jordan, take it serious, man. He's taking the piss out of me.
It was the funniest thing, all quiet. I said, what the fuck are you doing, Matt? He said, this ain't no joke, but.
I did deadly serious, man. I'd wake up, I'd make my breakfast, everything beyond like point. Like, Jordan, get up, like 10 minutes to go. He'd be like, are we going now? I'm like, but.
You were just more chilled with it then?
Yeah,
like in general,
he don't care, man. He got all the skills in the world, doesn't he? I got to rely on
beating him up.
Yeah, just working them, like.
Especially in there as well, they shut all the windows and the doors.
Yeah, it's boiling in there. It's like fighting in the sauna.
Yeah.
It's mental, like.
First spar I had out there, Fred Roach said, you can jump in with him, he's not a puncher. I thought, alright, have 3 rounds of box said, full front, he punched me on the ring.
Yeah.
It's horrible it is.
And then, probably because they fucking used to the eat.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They all like Dominic Republic, everything.
Yeah, no, it was a one guy, former super featherweight world champion. So when me and Lee went out there the first time, we went over there and they give us gloves to spar in. Like, so all had the same weight gloves and that. And then I noticed him going over to the heat machine. He turned it up. I was like, what the fuck is he doing here? He turned it up, right? I downed 2 rounds. I was like, I'm going to die here. I'm never like that. I was like, I got to eat the exhaustion, but that's what I felt like. But that's what they do,
Yeah, they do.
To have the better of it.
I went to Albuquerque to train for a month. Down at Jackson with John Jones' old gym.
All right, yeah.
And it's 40 odd degrees out there. It's in the middle of the desert, but it's high altitude as well. So it's like 2,000 feet above sea level. So we're going out there, and it's me and Marshman. And Marshman's been before, and he's like, this fucking altitude, mind this hard work. And I'm like, I'll be alright then. I'm quite fit, you know what I mean? I'm good for an hour, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we done the first sparring day, and you know, like you said, you have a bit of a warm up, and you do 5-minute rounds.
Yeah.
They're like, you got to do 3 minimum. If you want to stay on and do the 4th and the 5th, you can. But it's up to you. So I was like, fucking 5-5s, fucking
Easy,
right. I was like, piss 5-5s. Done the first round, like, I feel alright. Go halfway through the second one, where I started to fucking falter big time. I got a back foot like that, just disengaging of everything. And I was exactly the same. Yeah. Like, you staying on for the 4th or 5th? I was like, fucking not today.
Nah.
Took about
tomorrow.
2 weeks.
I'll come back tomorrow.
They'd never get warm in Merthyr, would they?
No, they wouldn't.
Fucking hell.
They'd be spanning a fucking puffer coat. Go on, Joy, with some questions.
Right, yeah. We've answered most of them, but one of them, this is probably the most serious question we've had. Would you rather have penis for toes or penis for fingers?
Oh, fucking
This is the level of question we're getting.
This is probably Jordan's question. This is what I get on a daily basis of Jordan on the way to the gym. Like.
This is actually another pro boxer who's wrote this as well.
Probably your fingers, because you have a go on them, innit?
That wasn't the answer, but I know you think it was.
I was just going to say, probably your toes, you could hide them away.
Complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
I said to him in the gym the other day, I said, it's a serious question. I said, would you rather suck 10 dicks or suck 1 dick 10 times? And why? He He said, "Why? What's the matter with you?"
What's the matter with it? It's the same outcome. You've got to do it 10 times regardless.
If you do it 10 times with the same person, that's gay, isn't it? You're stepping off the map.
I think 10 different people.
On a daily, like.
I think 10 different people is a gay slag, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're multi-time gay if there's 10 different people.
There's no time margin.
Not there's anything wrong with that, mate.
No,
You can do whatever you want, like.
Reoccurring that thing, innit? Just space it out.
We got any more, Nick?
What would you score your last performance out of 10?
7, 8. 7, 8.
Do you think there's better? Like you could do better?
Yeah, I probably could do better. Obviously, with the crowd and everything, and the night being like it was, I wanted to perform, but I probably could have done better. Yeah, but that's just me being critical on myself.
Overly critical. Which fighters are, aren't they?
Yeah.
What's next? I know obviously you're working on stuff, but what is the goal? That's, I don't know, the next 12 months. How many fights would you like? How close would you like to beat a world title shot? Or is that something you're starting assuming now? Like you said, you've. So
I've set myself, like, I had 3 goals in boxing, and the last goal on my last 3 goals was win the British title. So I've done all that now.
And defended it.
Yeah, and defended it. So I've set myself another 3 goals, and one of them is winning the European title. So I want to win the European title and win that, and then I could just go on and hopefully fight for a world title. Be amazing to do it in somewhere like Las Vegas or something like that. Like, that's like one of my goals as well, to fight in Vegas. Like,
how many more defences did you get outright?
I got to do another one because obviously
because of the draw.
Because of the draw, they don't count it as a defence. Like, so
that'd be nice as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like, and my boy loves the belt. Like, he's like, where's the gold one? Where's my gold one? Yeah, so it's his belt. I can't have it. Like, so he's like, where's my gold belt? So I want to win that and keep it in the house forever. Like, do
you become mandatory then? Like,
no,
for European if you win next.
I am mandatory now, so
cool.
I'm mandatory for the European next. So it's just who they want me to fight. Obviously, I'll fight anyone. Like.
What would the route be to a world title? And say you win the European, would that put you in like a certain
top 20?
A certain boards?
Yeah, it'd probably put me up in the top 20 in all the governing bodies, and then probably like fight for like an international belt on whatever, like a WBO, WBC.
With the world champion as well, they get to pick who they want.
Yeah.
So if they look at the Gavin and say, that'd be like
look at my record, and they go, they want an easy fight as a tune-up fight. They go, we'll give this guy a go, like, sort of thing.
Rock about then.
Rock up, stick your head in them. And take your belts. But that's the long-term plan. But like short-term, I want to win that European title now, and just
hopefully do it in Wales. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm not saying it is going to be, but
you take it how you want to take it.
Yeah, take it how you want to take it.
Last thing before we give you a chance to shout anyone out. Yeah. Life after fighting. Have we even thought about it? Have we got any? I know you've got your burger place.
Yeah, give that a shout out.
Give a little plug on that.
Yeah, Ringside Grill got I'm in partnership with another boy in there. That's doing well. It's taking over. It's not like I wouldn't earn a wage from it, sort of thing. Do you know what it was? I just wanted to give like something back to the community. Me and my partner, we just wanted to give youngsters a chance, because there's no jobs around for youngsters where we are. So we just wanted to give something back to them. If we earned a little bit of money off the side of it as well, bonus, like, sort of thing. But as long as we're paying bills and paying them a wage, we don't really care what we're earning. But I want to invest my money. I'm lucky enough, one of them fighters, I've saved all my money from boxing, as tight as they come. Joe will vouch for that. I don't like spending my money, but I think boxing's my retirement fund. I am got a pension. My missus got a decent enough job, so I'll just live off her.
Why not, innit?
Yeah, my wife saying that. My wife saying that, but I want to invest my money into like property. Probably go down that route. That's what I want to do. And
plenty of years left in the tank.
Yeah, plenty of years left. I'd say I probably got 4 or 5 years left in me, because I haven't had, like I was saying earlier on that show, I wasn't boxing since I was 10, so I got extra 10 years on the other boys the same age as me, sort of thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they've been boxing since they were younger, like, do you know what I mean?
I think they're like, because you got the success in the boxing, whatever you take that like work ethic to, it's going to translate in it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Coaching an option or no?
I did want to do that, but it's a lot. It's I probably would. I'd probably like help Jordan train because he needs his.
You ragging him out of bed? Come on,
yeah, he's ass kicked all the time. Like because if he trained, he'd be world champion in 4 or 5 years. Like if he trained like me, do you know what I mean? He's got the skill level to do it, but.
What would just obviously not Jordan, he probably can hear it 100 times off it, but what would your advice be to a young fighter coming up who, you know, maybe like you didn't have the backing of a big promoter early on and had to work his way up from the beginning? What advice would you give to him? Probably
just stay dedicated to the game. Just train hard. Listen to your trainers, listen to your coaches. Just live the life. The first couple of years of being a pro, I didn't either. Because I was fighting these boys. I was thinking, these shit. Yeah. I could beat these without training. And then I come up against Henry James. That was like a wake-up call. So that's when I started taking it serious from there, really. And to this day now, I train every day. Always train. Always eat healthy and live the lifestyle. But that's probably down to one of my gym mates as well, Lee Selby.
Just say you always eat healthy. Just stopped at McDonald's on the way.
Yeah, we started. Yeah, I'm gonna fight till like
calories in, calories out, but he just been training, haven't he?
You know what he said? He said, "Oh, we stop in the shop, get a bottle of water, sit on the podcast."
He's full of shit.
McDonald's milk
He's full of shit.
I bet you wish you asked him to stay over there. How do you?
1,200 calories, so that's made up for that, isn't it?
Easy, but easily.
That's easy work, isn't it? But like he said, I'm allowed the odd treat. I'm not fighting till like September time, but I always like.
Jordan's like, I got him, boys.
He's got to run it back.
He let fuck on me outside.
Before we wrap it up, but floor is yours. Anyone you want to shout out? Sponsors, coaches?
Oh, I don't know the sponsors off the top of my head, to be honest with you, but I just want to give a shout out to each and every one of them for supporting me so I can train full time, and that without them it just wouldn't be possible. Obviously, got bills to pay and that. So massive thank you to all of them, and massive thank you to all my trainers, even my physiotherapist Chelsea, strength and conditioning coach Richard, boxing trainer Tony Bogue, Billy Reynolds. Just massive.
Social media as well. Where can they get you?
So my social media is. Don't even know.
Just type in Gavin Gwynne.
He's
going to have a blue tick.
Yeah. And I'm not paying £12 a month for it. Go on, Joe. Do you want to give a shout out to anyone?
Shout yourself out, Joe. Go on, plug your social media. Up and comer.
I'd like to say thank you to all my sponsors. Des, he's my main sponsor. He helps me out with the fact that I don't have to work and everything, so I can train full time. And everyone, my coaches, Tony. Well, I give a shout out to him because he always pushes me in the gym and that. And
he pulled him in a podcast spot as well.
And I put £15 petrol in his car today.
It's not cheap getting everything.
When's your next fight? Do you got anything booked?
Well, I think it's July 21st in London.
You just need to get all your medical sorted now, don't you? So
it's hard to get out now.
Yeah, because you haven't fought for a while, have you?
No, I had a bit of problems behind the scenes now. License and everything. It's all been sorted out now.
So he got his license back now, so he's back.
Make up
right?
for it now the next year or two.
I was lucky enough, like I'm young enough now, because I'm only 22. So it's
plenty of time.
Like if that was the case to happen to Gavin, it knocks a year off his singing. Like, but.
All right, bud.
Well,
Dicky trying to say that?
He's old man. He's still fit than me.
Well, hopefully, if Gav ends up fighting for a
That's a massive if.
European title in Wales at some point in the year, maybe you can get them cut. If, you know what I mean, you're not confirming or denying nothing, but fingers crossed we get to see it. Thank you, boys, for coming on.
Lads.
Thank you for having me on, boys.
And don't forget, catch them on their socials, give them a follow, support them, and we look forward to seeing you scrapping again soon.